Bro, in the
yeah.
morning. Look, Jeezy and I was just laughing before we got into this because I said I saw him on primetime television giving relationship advice.
Yeah.
He was like, shit, they done got the wrong guy. I went up there to promote Trap or Die 3 with Adrian Bailana and the rest of the kids.
Right.
I love their show. They do
It's dope. They some lovely ladies up there, man.
You know that's not primetime television, Ebro.
What is it?
It's big time television, but it's not primetime.
What's the definition of primetime?
Primetime would be from 8 to 11 at night.
Okay. And then so what's daytime?
It's daytime television. Yeah, it's big daytime television.
Got it. You're a TV guy. I'm not a TV guy.
I just try to help you out. You know, I'm here to assist you.
I appreciate the alley-oop.
Trap
or Die 3, Jeezy. I've been seeing you make the rounds.
Right.
There's a reoccurring theme I keep hearing you talk about.
What's that?
There's some I don't want to say you're not happy, but I want to say you want to reestablish what trap music is with this Trap or Die 3.
Right.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah, it's quality street music. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I guess if you look at it block-wise, it's straight drop. You know what I mean? It's a thing when you was on the block where you can go down and get straight drop from somebody. That means it's gonna bounce back. And then you can go get something that's been, you know, Gregory Hines. That means it's stepped on.
I have literally no idea what he's talking about.
So it's slang. But I got you, Rosenberg.
But explain. But hold on, go back. With the first thing you said, it bounces back. What bounces back?
It bounces back, so it's pure.
Got it. The
You know
product.
what I'm
The
saying?
product.
is pure.
Yes.
On the street.
Right.
Yeah.
Rosenberg, I thought you was on the block. What happened?
I retired so long ago.
Right.
He doesn't know the new slang.
Right. So 20 years ago.
So for me, it's like, you know, I really give somebody something that's pure. You know what I'm saying? And its quality, like Blue Magic. You feel what I'm saying? And then and then you have the, you know, the work that's been stepped on or cut or whatever you. And I think that's what you get. Like when me and Shorty Red, like in our chemistry, it's straight drop. Like you feel it, it's pure. And then if you hear somebody that made a beat that sounds like something he would have did a while back, I consider that being stepped on because it's already been done. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we originated. So to come back and do it this way, it's like if you want to make this type of music, this is what it's supposed to sound like.
Are you appreciative of the new people calling themselves trap?
I sometimes I get a little confused because I hear trapped and I hear EDM and I'm just like, well, okay, well, you know, like.
Well, they say trap EDM is a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, these genres, I don't.
Right. So, but for me, trap wasn't, you know, just the music. It's about, you know, about the choices you made in life and who you really are. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, you know, trapping is real. You know what I'm saying? It's not just music. Like if I see something. And I look at it, I go, okay, that's 100. That's trap world to me. Like, so if you got somebody out here who's grinding and he came from the bottom and he really out here moving and shaking, doing his thing, you respect him as a real one. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't just mean because you make a certain type of music that you're one of us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to emulate. You know, it really is. I mean, you go, you know, grab you a couple chains and, you know what I mean, get you,
the dark sunglasses.
Right. You gotta do the dark sunglasses.
Can I ask you I want to ask a semi-ignorant question. Are you the first person to use trap in totally like mainstream lingo?
Nah, because people would.
T.I. had trap music also.
But you gotta understand, when T.I. had trap music, you know, I had a lot of other things going on at that time.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But you're among them. But you would say you're
right.
among the people who.
I think I was the one that, you know, because at that time people were talking about it because it was like a hot thing. You know what I'm saying? Like anything else that is a fad. But to me, it was real life. So when I came in the game, that's all I knew. You know what I mean? So my whole thing was to be, you know, I grew up on Tupac and Eazy-E and Biggie Smalls and all these different people. Mobb Deep that was talking like real. So my thing was, I'm going to tell my story too because I thought that's what everybody was doing. So a lot of my story was too real. And I think when people started to see the things that I was talking about, they started to realize that, no, he's really running around doing what he's talking about. And I think that's why I resonated with the world. But that was my truth because the things that I was hearing, I just didn't think they sounded right. You feel what I'm saying? I got to be honest.
That has to feel weird. Remember we were discussing when Crip Walk became like super like pop at like
right.
little parties and everybody's doing it.
Yo,
I remember when I was at a party and I saw somebody Crip Walk. I'm out.
I'm leaving.
I am out. I want no problems.
Look, it's a crazy story. We in the club, kicking it. We probably about like 300-400 deep. And we all just standing around and this dude, it's like me, Meech, and a bunch of the homies, and we all standing around. And this dude walk up on Meech, and he like stare him down. And this is when pop locking was hot. and I guess he didn't know who he was, and he stared him down, and then he like looked at him and backed off of him and started trying to battle him. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute.
Said,
like you got served. It was like Omarion just he was like, you got served.
He was about to get
Big Meech.
Right, he was about to get smashed. You know what I'm saying? But that's when I say, you know, those fads, they come in like that. So trap was never a fad. Like people used to go in the club and battle each other dancing in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? That was a cool thing at a certain time. But when I came up, you know what I'm saying, it was like, you know, we always kept it all the way G. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you said, you had to be about that. My thing is, these days, you don't really have to be about
that. Well, but that was where my question was going. Ebro, what I was trying to point out, I think you'll appreciate this, is guys like Jeezy and T.I. and people who literally are from the trap, like that background of what really was happening. In other words, yeah, real shit that was happening.
Right.
You are now overlapping with a genre of kids who have, in a certain sense, co-opted that word for better or for worse,
right.
And it's now just a genre, and it has almost nothing to do with what you were doing.
Right.
So it's very interesting that you're still in the music,
right.
And they're in the music, but you guys, it's a totally different word. It doesn't even mean the same thing.
And I agree.
It's
weird.
Is that frustrating for you?
Nah, I mean, it is what it is. It's just for me to do, you know, what I do for the people to understand. If I speak a certain language or a certain lingo that we understand, you know what I'm saying? The people that understand it are going to understand it. They're going to be able to choose, you know, what's authentic and what's not. Right. You know what I mean? So you can't look at it like that. But, you know, you ever seen something, you're like, no, that's the real right there, or he a real one. It's because of either what they heard about you or what they know about you or how you move. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times with this, you know, you got these good songs, they come and they go because that ain't the person, you know, who they are. Like, if it was like that, it would always been like that. You know, you hear some of these cats, they come out and they sound a certain way because when I came out, you know, snap music was it. Crunk music was it, but I was like, that ain't who I am. You know what I mean? When I was going and making Trap or Die 1, I was like, yo, man, slow the tempo down. I want to talk to him. I want gothic sounds. I want this. And we was creating. So I didn't go to my guy. He gave me, you know, 6 beats and said, yo, go work on the tape. We actually got in and did what Dr. Dre and a Tupac or Dr. Dre and a Snoop would have did. We started from scratch and we made this sound that was our sound because that's how I told my story. So when you hear Trap or Die and it's slow, I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to sound like I'm riding in the car. I'm in your ear, and I'm telling you, you know, last time I checked, I was the man on these streets. That's what it was about, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what was going on. So when you look at how the industry is today, it's just like people just send beats around. Oh, I got a batch, you know what I mean? But nobody really gets in and cooks up from scratch. And that's the sound that we created. So when you hear it now, it's a little more, you know, it's microwave. It's like, okay, yeah, you got beats, you sound like him, and it's cool, but like, is it gonna stand the test of time is my question. So I feel like me coming back saying, hey, look, this is what it's supposed to sound like. It's like, now that's the bar. You get up to that, we good. But this is the bar, though. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Do you, in retrospect, like and I'm gonna ask you a question here, but we hear a lot of kids and a lot of young people coming up today justifying what they're creating, even if we think it's trash,
right,
as they're getting paid, though. I'm getting money,
right,
though. I'm getting money, though.
I never knocked that.
Right. So
that was the idea.
But where I'm going was, you had money.
Right.
You didn't like how you had to go about getting money.
Right.
So you opted to try something to save your life, which
right,
was basically trap or die. Like,
right,
I'm either gonna trap or I'm gonna die trying to get out this motherfucker.
And that was your options. That was your 2 options.
But did you make music for the money or did you make music to save your life when you first started doing it?
No, I made music to save my life. I never did nothing for money that, you know, and let me reiterate on that. Like, I never took nothing from anybody or didn't earn anything. That's always been my thing. I'm gonna earn my keep. But with music, for me, it was my rest haven. It was my, you know, when I was in the studio, I didn't get in all the silly situations everybody else got in. I didn't get indicted. I didn't get this and that because I was there. You know what I mean? So I was out of the way. But this was my way to express myself. But I just thought if I went hard at it enough, that I can pull it off. You know what I'm saying? And it could be something that I could do because it's who I am. I got all these stories in my head. I got all these things I've been through. So that was my angle. I was just like, you know, I just want to be heard. So when you hear First Trap or Die, the reason why you can relate to it and feel it so much because I put everything in that music. Everything. Like, all my time, all my energy, all my pain, all my frustration. It was all in that music because I just wanted to be heard. And then I turned around and gave it away. You know what I'm saying? To get a buzz. And people didn't understand that. It's like, yo, why you we didn't have straight to iTunes and all, because I was trying to create a buzz. So the money that I was making, I was putting it back in myself. You know what I'm saying? Well, all my friends were buying new Ferraris every day. You know, I bought one every other month, but not every other week. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like,
sacrifice.
Right.
I know.
Right.
You were focused.
Right. I was focused. And by the way, they used to come through the studio. People used to come laugh at me. They used to come from the club, 100 deep. Oh, man, you still in here doing this rapping shit? I'd be like, yo, man. You know what I mean? But it would be a few like, hey, man, you really serious. Keep pushing. But as it started to pan out for me, I started realizing that you really got to believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because, when you get money, you're going to spend it any kind of way because you feel like, okay, I want this. I want the new, Rolls Royce. I want to do that. But if you look at a real business person that becomes a mogul or a billionaire, they're always putting their money back into them some type of way. And that was my way of investing in me. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, I can go spend the money, but then that means I got to go make more money. And that means I got to go take more chances. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, I don't want to keep taking those chances. So let me just put the money in something. So it was like investing in yourself. And when it started to turn around for me, I just really realized that, sometimes you got to make, big sacrifices to get yourself where you need to be. And it was real because I could have lost either way, but I trapped instead of just dying. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And we probably wouldn't even be sitting here now had I took, other choices because, I see where a lot of people that was with me that took the other choice where they at. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm not looking at it like fucked up about it, but it's like, thank God I tried to do something with myself and not just say
thankful.
Right.
Was there ever a point for you that came where you were in the studio making music and you saw how good you were at it and you felt yourself being like, am I more of an artist now than I actually am that dude?
Yeah. I mean, because, shit was real. When I quit my other job, it was war. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't no cap, no flair, it was war. Ask anybody from Atlanta to tell you. It was war, man. Like, because people didn't like that. You the blood in, blood out, man. You know what I'm saying? And it was like all these things going on, all this, shootouts constantly. It was, matter of fact, I went and moved my whole neighborhood. I promise you, I took 3 tour buses to my neighborhood and moved all my homeboys I grew up with to where I was. I had 3 houses, side by side, on the southwest side of town. And that's how I moved every day. Everywhere I went, I'd have those 3 tour buses. You know what I'm saying? Because it was that serious. If I went out, it was just problems. And not because, they was pushing my line. It's because I wasn't considered a street cat no more. And I'm still trying to move around out here, and now they looking at you like a rapper.
Right, and then you're performing at places being promoted. They know you're going to be there. They know what time.
So it wasn't like nobody's pressing my line because, we ain't having that. But it's like now you're a rapper. And even when I was, out, moving around out there like that, I didn't like a lot of rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like it took Meeks to sit me and T.I. down, like, and for us to have a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know him, he didn't know me. But you know how you be around and everybody. He like, I got money. I'm like, I got money too. Yeah. I got a car. I got cars too. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, this your brother, and we ended up being like best friends out of that. And we always gave each other advice. But I see a lot of the things that he had to deal with, and being, on the other side of the fence, you didn't really think that somebody that big would have to deal with stuff like that. But he's very attached to the streets as well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a
so how do you do
thing.
it? So how do you wean yourself out of that world?
You
out
can't.
of the trap. But that's another layer of the trap.
But that's why it's called the trap. You see what I'm saying?
Because it's literally a trap.
Yes. So no matter how successful you become, you're not exempt from anything that goes on out here in this world.
Yeah, you're forever connected.
Right.
Like you can't be utterly.
Never. I mean, you probably ask Hov the same thing. You probably got people from Brooklyn that feel like.
Well, but I was going to say, is that the difference though with Hov? Because
right.
the way Hov is described, and I say this with all due respect, was that Hov was in the game and moved things around, but was not like a completely in the streets G'd up dude. It was kind of lighter work for him. And is that the case? Ebro, was easier for him to move away.
A drug boss per se, but they got their money and did what they did.
Right.
I don't know
the levels to which they were connected.
Well, I sold a lot of tank tops and socks and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those type of things. But at the same time, for me, Atlanta's a big city, but it's small. So everybody know everybody. And everybody kind of move around. It's not like New York. It's not like you could be in Queens and You know what I'm saying?
And you're completely removed.
New York's very small too. You'd be very surprised. The people who move around.
Right.
Everybody know each other.
Right. But you don't have to be in the same space.
But you can live a Manhattan life and you're completely removed from Brooklyn.
Like on some ghost shit. You know, he do his thing. I like how him and Tommy kick it. Right. It's dope. But I'm saying all that to say that, you know, that's why we consider it trap, because it's more of a real life situation. Like it's like a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So it's who you are. And that's totally separate from the music, because your fans can love you to death. You know what I'm saying? They can, you know, they love everything, your music, love everything about you, but then you have people who actually really know of you, know you, and that's what you can never be removed from. And I know it sounds crazy, because, you know, I'll move to Miami, I can move here, I can do that. But forever, you're going to, especially if you really was attached to the streets, everywhere I just was in L.A. Last night. Plenty cats I know, but that I've been knowing before. You know what I'm saying? But now they frequent where I go. Because they done moved up the totem pole.
Exactly.
Right. So it's like, hey, what up? Oh, what up, man? You in here too? Like, yeah. So it's like, you forever be connected to that unless you just up and leave and go to Jerusalem somewhere.
It's always an option.
It's always an option. Right.
Is it funny when you're like at hip hop stuff? Like, let's say you're at the BET Awards.
Right.
And there's a cat like you. And there's other real dudes. Like, you run into a Top Dog. You know, someone else, a real dude. And then at the same time, there are all these dudes there who people on the outside think are real, who y'all know are straight up clowns. They're not remotely. They appear tough to nerds, but is it funny? Like, is there a secret? Is there almost a code where you know who's real and you can just see it?
Absolutely, and you don't have to even say it. It's eye contact.
Right.
Everybody looks at
like, everybody look at him like, all right. Like I was saying, we're gonna go do this and that. And look, man, you know, to each his own, because, you know, everybody ain't supposed to be tough. Everybody ain't supposed to be real. If everybody was the same, then it wouldn't be, you know, you couldn't tell us apart. It wouldn't be nobody that was authentic or somebody that was over passionate about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, for me, this is my thing. This is my child. This is my baby. Like, I came in this from the ground level up, and it's like my peers are Hove and Kanye and all these different people now. So it's like, that tells me something, because people who know me know exactly where I came from. You know, we stood on the same, you know, street corners together and shared bicycles, and I used to give them $2 to go to the store and give me some Gatorade and chips and all that type of stuff. So they look at it and they go, wow, this dude, you know, he made it, but I'm still connected in a sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'll never leave that connection, because that's my safe haven. It keeps me on my grind, because I know who I am, and I know I got to go a little bit harder than the next guy, because I might not be as, and I don't want to, you know, talk down myself, but as talented in areas as other people are, because that's all they do. But, you know, I have a lot of other things I have to do, because I'm a hustler. So that's where my talent is at, in hustling and keeping it going and keeping it moving. And a lot of cats, they burn out at a certain point, because that's all they got. I got the secret weapon. You know what I'm saying? I got this ambition, you know what I mean, in my back pocket, this determination, and you can't beat that. It's like, there's no way.
Do you, you know, is your past so real? Because I know 50's working on a BMF movie, a documentary.
I think it's a series.
It's a series,
yeah.
Okay. And he's having great success with Power. And you just mentioned Power a second ago, so I'm sure you like it.
Right, love it.
Do you talk to 50 about that? Are you involved in that movie at all? Or was that too real of a life for you, and you're like, you know what, that's just my past?
Yeah, but I spoke to him about it, and we definitely supposed to chop it up a little more, because that's my thing, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure if I happen to, you know, if it happens to be any type of likeness, that it is right for me, you know what I'm saying? Because, and then you know, it just like, you know, me personally, it's like, it's real, so I don't really want to be in a situation where, you know, like, you know, a lot of people that I know personally are going to feel a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Because it's that touch, it's not like the Biggie Smalls movie that came out where, you know, see, a lot of people was mad. You know what I mean? It was good for Big and what they was doing, but a lot of people probably got portrayed and felt like, damn, that come on, man.
And I'm guessing with the BMF movie,
You know
there's people you even want to piss off less
than
Faith Evans being upset. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Little Kim.
Or Kim, right. There's other people.
And don't get me wrong, look, man, I you know, look, I'm all about, you know what I'm saying, seeing, you know, us have it, seeing us get it. So, you know, I'd rather for anything to come out of that whole situation than for a lot of people to be sitting where they at in vain. So I'm all for it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, just like, you know, when I chop it up with Fifth, we're gonna really see, you know, what's good as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, either way, you know.
Are you and you know, I mean, there was a moment in time where you and Gucci put out an amazing record together,
Right.
very early in your career.
Right.
Things got crazy.
Right.
Now he's out and a different person.
Right.
Clean, positive.
Right.
From all appearance. Do you guys communicate, or that's never, ever?
I mean, I gotta be honest, man. I'm focused on me, bro.
That's
like,
right.
you know, that's where I'm at with it, man. Anything going on with me is where I'm at. And
you don't seem like a person who likes to bring the past up. You once it's behind you, feel like it seems like you want to keep moving.
It ain't even that. It's just like, you know, I got bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? I got things that I'm really trying to do that my focus and my time and attention really needs to be on. And I don't need any distractions. You know what I mean? That's from anywhere or anyone. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real for me right now. I'm 10 years in this game. You know what I'm saying?
Why 10 years? Because you feel like it gets
harder
and harder at 10.
No, I'm trying to be that next, you know, I'm trying to be that next Dr. Dre. I need that Billy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't doing this for, you know, it ain't about the money, it's just the status. Like, if they can achieve these things, like, why can't I? And I watch how Dre move. You got to be a student of the game. There's certain things he just kind of removed himself out of the situation. And that's why I see, you know, and I mean standing on the same corner, same block, you know, you had him and Suge right there together. You know what I'm saying? He gave his masters to Suge, walked away from everything, and look where he is now, and look where Suge is at. So obviously their focuses were different. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm trying to make sure my focus is where I'm trying to go and not when somebody trying to take me. Because I've never been a follower, and I ain't about to let nobody trick me off the streets. Because I know ain't no nigga realer than me. That's not gonna happen. So at the end of the day, so you know, I look at Dre and I look at Suge. You know, that's a prime example. I mean, he's sitting somewhere, you know what I'm saying, and you know, he's really going through it. And this man was worth, you know, $500-600 million, you know, 10, 15 years ago. Then you have somebody like Dr. Dre, who you only see this motherfucker like once every 3 years, like Unicorn Tears. You know what I'm saying? And he's worth $1 billion. His life is stress-free. You know what I'm saying? And and he's making movies and doing deals and putting Kendrick Lamar on, and it's like, nigga, that's where I want to be. Like, fuck, if I wanted the bullshit, I could have stayed in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, why get caught up now? I'm here.
That's a crazy thing to point out. You never even think about that. Like, that's not in the movie. You know, that's how the story ultimately ended.
Yeah, but you got to think, you know, look at how they sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Dre probably laid up, pool, cabana, figuring it out on his yacht.
I think it's like pool, pool,
cabana.
Cabana, bedroom.
Then yacht.
Yacht.
It's right, and then you got, you know, Suge, who's, you know, obviously had some situations, you know what I'm saying, when he's out. Actually, I was there when he got shot the last time, sitting right beside him. He was actually talking to me when he got shot.
He was talking to you when he got shot?
Yeah.
At One Oak in L.A.?
Yes.
And
standing right beside him.
What do you do in that situation?
I mean, you know, we ain't got to talk about that. But I'm good. Just know that.
Zip?
Hey, nah. Ain't no zipping, man.
I don't even understand. I can't even.
Automatically, hold it down. ain't nothing to talk about. You feel me?
Well, I can tell you what I would do.
I'll tell you exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'll tell you what I would do, Jeezy.
I would be running.
Yes.
Yeah, no, for real. I was actually right
Run,
there.
jump, skip, slide.
Yeah.
I was right there.
Maybe even dive. I might even dive.
And that's no bullshit. That's really the type of shit I look at. Because you're here to win. You know what I'm saying? Anything that distracts you is a distraction. Like, you know what I mean? If you focus on, you know, things that don't, if it doesn't have anything to do with your goals or what you're trying to achieve, it's a distraction all day. And you can make it this far and get distracted. I mean, this man had $500-600 million and the biggest artists in the game. You know, he had Pac, Snoop, Dre at the same time.
Everybody.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So somewhere down the line, he got distracted. So I don't know if that was because he was trying to keep it real with somebody else or keep it real with himself. I'd rather keep it real with myself.
I always feel like with Suge, and I don't know him personally at all, that from the stories you tell it with him, it could have been distraction, and it's also reaping what you sow. And that there was certain business he was doing along the way that was so rough around the edges that ultimately there were too many people who wanted to see him fail also.
Yeah, that plays a part, but I just look at the end goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to be Dr. Dre. I ain't got time for the bullshit.
Nah, that's exactly right.
I'm trying to go
Please.
yacht,
Cabana.
bathroom, cabana. You know what I mean?
You have a
Caesar
boat,
salad.
right? You have a boat right now?
Caesar salad, huh?
You have a boat now or no?
I got one on timeshare. You know, I ain't gonna do no capping up here.
Yeah, I
ain't gonna do that. I mean, but you know, my financial people always advised me it wasn't smart to buy.
Everyone says, you know, the boat line.
Right.
Best day is the day you buy and the day you sell it because it's such a pain in the ass.
Because it's so much upkeep. But when I'm in Miami, you know,
you got a boat, you can go out.
Right, every time.
Let's talk money while we have Jeezy. Trap or Die 3 available now. You can get it anywhere, specifically Apple Music, because that's where I work. Jeezy, you are very good with your money.
Right.
And you have how many kids?
2.
2 children.
Right.
Have you set them up also with the blueprint?
Of course, my son. My son's here with me now. Like I still.
He's in New York.
Yeah. He's been with me the whole time. I instill in him. He got his own clothing line. He got his own situations going. You know what I'm saying? But I call it tough love. But I'm hard on him because I don't want him to have to go through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? And I always reiterate that to him. Like, hey man, don't get caught up in what you see going on because 9 times out of 10 that ain't what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in an era where people would spend for the next nigga to see and don't really have it like that because they want you to look at them a certain way. And I can only imagine that's going on now. But I always just give him game because he's like my best friend. So I just, hey, yo, man, listen, we're not going to worry about that. Because I tell him all the time, like, hey, man, load up. Because he have little situations with his business. And I was like, rule number 1, never, deal with anything with your emotions involved because if you make a mistake, you know what I'm saying, because you're not thinking straight, then that affects your whole timetable and your whole business. You know what I'm saying? But you got to hear that, as a youngster, because that stick with you in the back of your head, you know what I'm saying, forever. You know what I mean? So it's that type of game, because my thing is, I've been your age before, you know what I'm saying? And I went through things that you would never understand. So if you need to know, just ask me, because I'm going to give you the game. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, nobody gave it to me. I had to bump my head and take a few losses and crawl back and figure it out. But I feel like me giving him the game is only going to make him stronger and better because this is a different world. He needs all that to survive, but I'm definitely like hard on him about what he does with his money, how he kicks it, how he lives. Because it's like I hear people all the time like, yeah, you told your son, you told our sons to trap or die, but your son graduated from school. Like that's what the fuck he's supposed to do. That's why the fuck I took all these penitentiary chances. Like it makes no sense for me to go through all that and then my son to be out here in the streets running around, you know what I'm saying?
The same shit I was doing.
Right.
We didn't evolve. There's no evolution.
But that was the whole thing because he was my focus when I was in the streets. Like, I was really trying to figure out how I can become a better person and make sure he has a better life. And no bullshit. Like, we grew up in the projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the real shit. You know what I mean? And all his family, that's where they really from. You know what I'm saying? But, I teach him every day. Like, I tell him, hey, man, what you doing, man? Go take your flight to Miami. Like, you've been working hard. Just go lay back. I had to tell him, it's small shit that they got to know. It's like, Dad, well, I don't want to spend the money. I was like, yo, man, if you book the flight, 3-4 weeks out, a month out, it's going to cost you, you know what I'm saying? Right. Nothing. You know what I mean? But that means you gotta, you gotta think forward and not wait till the last minute. You know what I mean? So it just be small shit that you can tell them like that goes with them a long way because they start to understand. Even with myself, you know what I'm saying? I came out the streets. It was the other cats that I was around that was giving me game without giving me game because I was sitting around these businessmen, niggas selling petroleum, electricity, and all this different shit, and I'm listening. And every time I see them, they ain't even working. They relaxing. I'm like, how the fuck? But they telling me, what they're doing, and I'm taking it all in. I'm like, all right, cool. So when I'm having a conversation with my son or somebody that I got a lot of respect for, I give them little bits and pieces of it because I want them to know too, because it's all about information. You know what I'm saying? You can be, if you get the right information, you can do and beat anybody in this fucking world. You know what I'm saying? Don't think just because the next man got more that he's smarter. You know what I'm saying? You might have more ambition than him, you just don't have the information. So I'm about spreading the information because that's what's going to change lives. And when you sit back and see what's going on in the world today, the honest answer is they don't have the information. They don't have big homies. That's why these kids out here running around doing all this crazy shit because nobody really sitting down, even talking to them through the music or in real live conversation. They just kind of let them figure it out. And this is the result. But I refuse to see my child running around dealing with that shit. And I know I just deal with that shit 80% of my life. You know what I'm saying?
How do you feel about the game, too, when you listen to a lot of the music? It feels like, we've been talking about on this show for at least, it feels like forever, with the Molly and the this and the getting high. And it feels like it over time, and I don't know where it happened, where it became cool to be a fiend. almost addicted to pills and lean, et cetera,
that
et cetera.
shit ain't cool in my book, no kind of way. You feel what I'm saying? Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't it. I mean, you can't convince me that that's cool. By the way, and I tell people all the time, even when I was, doing my thing, I didn't even really smoke, weed or nothing like that because I wanted to be focused because I saw cats that would, start off with something like that and then they be the nigga, running, sneaking behind, when you out at the trap hollering at your man, getting a 20 rock so they can go smoke because they got on the pack.
Rosenberg, what rule was it in 10 Crack Commandments? Don't get high on your own supply.
That's right. What number? I don't remember.
What number? That was rule number
5.
Maybe it was 5.
Right.
Don't get
It's
high
sad
on
though,
your own supply.
because I know, like, okay, so watching Wayne, right? And
Trying to
constantly
help, trying to help y'all.
having all the seizures and stuff, and like we're literally watching Wayne kill himself.
Right.
And all these young kids who are drinking lean like it's just, like it's Hennessy and taking all these pills. So it's great, like, to me, because I hate it. Like, even when Schoolboy Q was here, like, he was really open about his addiction to lean.
Right.
How he couldn't put it down, and when he let go, he really compared it to, like,
now
getting clean off of
taking his
heroin.
shirt off in the gym.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait,
I mean, I don't want to be on nothing that's going to make me tired, man. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sit around and drink some shit that's going to have me drowsy all day and, you know what I mean? I just, listen, man.
It's not for you.
How the fuck do you be productive like that? Like, that's my whole thing. And how much time are you going to miss? Like, because that's the whole thing. Like, you don't have a lot of time to get this shit together. You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, it's too late. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm trying to preach nobody, but it's common fucking sense.
I mean, cats are losing years.
You know what I'm saying? You can't fucking go see your surgeon and he fucking high on Molly and he trying to fucking cut you over and he do something wrong. I mean, I just think about it. You on the plane, you're fucking pilot. He you know what I mean? It's just certain shit that just don't make sense if you one of them ones. But if we could take it back to trap or die. If you gonna be the one that wanna trap, you gonna figure out a way to be disciplined enough not to fuck around like that. And even if you do, it's gonna be in the privacy of your own home. It's not gonna be while you're conducting your day. But if you one of the motherfuckers who choose to die and just go with the options they give you, you might go for that. That might be cool because I came up in the era, not to take it back, where it was about honesty and integrity and loyalty and shit like that. That ain't what's going on today. How is a hot nigga gonna be loyal to you? He gonna be loyal to himself. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just like watching that shit and watching the generation. It's just like you can't knock it because it ain't my business. But if my little homie came to me, I'd be like, yo, my man. First of all, we gonna cut that shit out. Cause for one, when you add that shit up, I can only imagine what that shit costs. You know what I'm saying? So add that shit up monthly, you know what I'm saying, annually, yearly.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? You fuck around, you spend it, $700,000-$800,000 a year getting high. You know
It's true.
You can have that yacht boat fuck around. You feel what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You adding that up between the smoking and the drinking.
I mean, and we got to be honest too. We sitting up talking about back in the day, and us all being above 30 in this room.
Right? No, you the only one above 30, bro. I'm going for young.
Yeah.
Young Jeezy,
Right.
Young Jeezy, on the bottom of the map. Yeah, he's still young.
Right.
But no, in all seriousness, there was always clowns that was gonna get left behind.
Right.
That's not a new concept.
But that's
I think
real.
social media and the fact that everybody can throw anything up at any time. Now we think people are popping when they not popping. We think people are legends when they not legends. We think people are goats when they not the greatest of all time. Right. We think people are a real one when they not really a real one. Right. Like all of that is spread with the little 100 sign or the emojis and shit. And that's not real life. But there was clowns like that when we was coming up. We knew they was gonna get left behind, and you separated yourself.
But it's too many of them now, man. I can't. I don't like that shit. Like the equation ain't working out right. Like it used to be 30-70. Now it's 70-30. I don't like that shit.
The ratio's all fucked up.
The ratio's all fucked up, man. Because when you and then by the way, when you it's almost like you being brainwashed, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You kind of and this is what's gonna fuck you up. It's in the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people start talking about running off and robbing people and doing all this crazy shit and staying out, it's in the music. That's what we're growing up on. So you listening to what he's saying or whoever's saying, you like, that's it. That's what I'm doing. That's who I'm like. So I'm not telling nobody to be no role model, like, not by any means, but you have to know your responsibility when you're doing this shit as some type of leader. Like, Pac would take you all around the fucking, but then he'll come back and dear mama your ass. You know what I'm saying? Wonder why they call you bitch. Like, he ain't talked down. He put sprinkles of and gems in what he was doing, but he wasn't just all the way ignorant either. You know what I'm saying? When it was time to talk that shit and let you know what was going on, he was the guy that was making those real, those real songs because that's how he really felt. But it's like, I don't think everybody should have a microphone. I don't think everybody should have an outlet to talk to people. If we go to the club tonight and all of us there and everybody in the club has a microphone, like, who the fuck gonna say something important? Who do we know who to follow? Who do we think is the leader of what we doing? Like, everybody shouldn't be able to have a say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got one nigga like, you calm down, nigga, shoot everybody, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And then there you go. You know
And now everyone has some voice.
So I'm not knocking it by any means. I'm just saying, man, like, it's a few of us that are really gifted. And we here to spread, this real shit. And we here to tell you how to get this money. And we got to tell you how you live your life. Like, I'm tired of seeing motherfuckers die at 20. You know how many funerals I don't pay for? I've seen niggas die at 20, 30 years old. And, like, it's just too much, bro. Like, for some bullshit.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody getting paid. That's my thing. I mean, if you gonna goddamn get rich or die trying, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But if you just out here and you run around and you ain't really being productive and, you just, you don't want to be a waste, my nigga. Like, and you could be a waste, you ain't got to be in jail to be doing time. You could be a waste on the street. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing. That's why I'm like, yo, my nigga, like, let's talk about it. If we gonna trap, let's do it for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be the nigga on the corner. You want to be the boss, nigga. I'm trying to be goddamn, what my man named El Chapo Guzman.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go out like Pablo Escobar.
I won't even say his name. So that's
show up.
Very scary.
Oh, no problem.
Right. But that's why we have so much respect for him because, this dude's like the Robin Hood of our time. But it takes a mastermind to think. Like, not to say the way he's doing is right. That's his business. But at least he was going about it the way that he was going about it, and he believed in what he was doing. And I think that that's the problem. Like, ain't nobody giving these young cats no game, so they just doing whatever the fuck ever. You know what I'm saying?
So your president, who is black,
Right.
your president, who disinvited you to his party
He did that.
because it was you came in, you shared that story with us.
Right.
He's about to get out of office now. Do
Right.
you now reach out to him like, yo, can we be cool now? Because I understand you didn't want me in the
Right.
White House because
Right.
of my past.
Right.
It made sense to me. I wasn't offended.
Right.
But there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah,
for young people, for
Right.
black and brown
Right.
men, and work that Obama's going to be doing.
Yeah, I think now that he's getting out of office, I can even see him lightening up on a lot of things, even the parties he's throwing and how they kicking it in the events they're a part of. And it's like they kind of really showing like, yeah, we was cool the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we did our
just had to
job.
do this
right,
job.
right, and we good. I can respect that all day. I definitely think it'll be a time that we'll have a real conversation because we men. And I definitely think that we can have some type of use for each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's something that he's trying to do on that level, because Chicago is, just crazy right now. So it's only certain people that, a lot of cats, respect. And I'm quite sure, I'm in that top 5 when it comes to that because I have a real connection with Chicago and either other cities. So it might just be them type of instances. But that's what I'm about. Like, if we're going to empower each other to do things like that, I'm all for that. You know what I mean? Whether you're in the White House or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you own and we on the same thing, we can get it done. You feel me? That's all right. But I will say this though, it's gonna be a little dull in there when my man get out of the White House though. I can tell you that right now.
Understand.
Have you met Hillary Clinton?
No, I haven't.
No.
Nah. They reached out before a couple times, but I haven't met her.
Are you staying away from politics for this run?
I'm just staying away from Donald Trump, man.
He definitely compared him
Right.
to Tupac though.
See,
Compared who?
Donald Trump. Didn't you compare him to Tupac?
Nah,
I read that and I was like, what? No way.
No way.
Explain.
Look, if I have to explain this one more time. In the general conversation, I was like, yo, man, he's the hottest dude in politics. You know what I'm saying? He's irate. Everybody's talking about him. I said, if he was a rapper, he'd be Tupac. He'd go diamond right now, this minute. He put out an album.
Right.
And that was that. You know what I'm saying? So I went and...
Right. You were like, they're the same.
Yeah, like,
Yo, Trump is
right,
Tupac.
Right.
He's the Tupac of our time.
No, so it wasn't like that. But what I can't
Wait, you
say...
saw that for real on the internet?
Yeah.
Yo, the internet is...
Come on, it's crazy. Editing is crazy. By the way, make sure y'all edit this shit right. What the editing, man? Yeah, make sure
Ain't
this
no
edit
edits.
is right.
No,
That
we
shit
don't
go
edit,
right
we
up.
let it
Right,
get-
right.
The only edits
Cool.
happen in this room is when somebody asks us to take something out.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
say
yeah,
no
Other
more.
than that,
Say
we
no more.
don't.
go away.
But I will say I have a lot of respect, for what Hillary got going on because, you know what I'm saying, like, she's showing women that you can be, anything. And I really, me personally, I think she's gonna pull it off. You know what I'm saying?
Hope so.
Like, and if anybody agree with that, but she's showing women that you can be
we
anything.
with that.
Right.
The Trump thing is an embarrassment.
Right,
You
right.
know,
Right.
you can't have a leader of our country
Right.
represent us to the world like that. That can't be a thing.
I mean, but you know, I really think the racial tension is bad now. But I just can only imagine if he was to be in office, how bad it would really be, and how much he would turn, a blind, eye to it, because it's not his problem.
Oh yeah.
And I tell people all the time, it's like, look, man, like, okay, you can wait on fucking whoever to get in office. They're not gonna be able to fix the shit we got going on. We gotta figure this shit out.
Yeah.
We do. You know what I'm saying? It's men. You know what I'm saying?
But they could make it worse. All people could really do is make it worse. I don't know how much they can make it better, but they could definitely make it worse.
I mean, but like even with a lot of the shit that was happening in a lot of the shit that was going on, and it was on the internet, and everybody's freaking out and marching and all this shit, because the internet just brought it to life.
But it was always there.
It was always there. I've been through situations, always there. You know what I mean? And as black men, you got to really realize that. That's why I say you got to, empower yourself and really get your bread up, man, and secure that bag. So when they come at you wrong, like, you really got power. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't got power, you fucked. If you don't have resources out here, it's over with. And they don't give a fuck who you are, man. Once they get you in that system, it's rough. And even if it's just getting you in there to get you out, to put you back on parole, you know what I mean? That's even worse. You walking around with a time, with a fucking a clock on your back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like whatever you do. And by the way, then you can't even get a job. So you right back out here, doing what you do. So at the end of the day, it's all trap, man. You know what I'm saying? We just trapping a dime, baby. I really just trap. I'm gonna take my chances. And, what he's saying, shit, may God be with me. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I ain't finna even play with him, man, because, we went through that shit on the block. We went through that shit, in real life. I went through that shit as an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? And it's all the same, bro. Just now, when you get jammed up into it, the whole world know, because, the blog's gonna tear your ass up. You know what I'm saying? I was an executive at Atlantic Records. It's like, this crazy motherfucker got caught with an AK, and I was like, oh my God, it's all bad. Craig County,
So
Jeezy, what are you doing?
So are you still an executive up there?
Nah. I left it a while ago, man. I just wanted to get back in the field, man. Actually, I'm just telling you how I move. I wanted to see. I wanted to go in a building that wasn't my building and see how it works. See what they do, see what they don't do. And when I got in and I understood it, it just made me want to go hard on my records, because when I'm sitting in these A&R meetings and I'm hearing what they talking about, you know what I'm saying? And back in my mind, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You got to let artists be art. You got to let artists do their art. And this shit that we coming from the street with can't be contained. Meaning, like, you can't look at it and try to, put it together like some Play-Doh or something. Either it is what it is or it ain't that. You know what I mean? So, you can't go out and manufacture a DMX. That's DMX. You know what I mean? He raw, he great, he don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that you can't manufacture a young MA. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You know what I mean? That's what it is. They came up that way. So when you sit in these meetings and you hearing stuff, you going, damn. And then you look around, you go, well, shit, you get to think about your platinum plaques. I'm like, how many of y'all motherfuckers got platinum plaques? I do this shit for real. You know what I'm saying? I write these records. So I understand what it is. And I would encourage anybody that's in that position to let the artist be the artist. And when he figure it out, he gonna figure it out. You can't make him figure it out. You can't figure it out for him.
Give him the tools to be great.
Right. And that was my thing. I want to get back in the field. It's almost like, you get to a general and you back on the base and shit, and everybody out there at war, you like, shit, fuck that. Demote me, put me back on the front line where it's going down there, because this shit back here, that ain't it. You know what I mean? So for me, it was just going there, seeing it. And by the way, it helped with the process of everything that I've been doing thus far, because I started understanding it more. So that was the other side of the game that I didn't get. So even when I'm talking to Def Jam, it's real, like, it's boss talk. It ain't I'm not an artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Fortune 500 company, no matter how you cut it. And this is what I want to do with my company. And you're my business partner, so this is how we rocking. And this is my plan, and this is who I'm gonna need. Now let me go to work. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. You feel me?
Makes perfect sense.
Right.
Yo, Young Jeezy's got Trap or Die 3. Still young, he says. Still young.
The money
I'm the only old one in the room.
The money grown, though.
The money grown. Yo, let's get on a record. What record we hitting?
Oh, man, let's go to that Going Crazy featuring me and French Montana. Shouts out to French.
Big up
Young
French.
Frenchie.
Yo, Young Jeezy, always good to see you, sir.
Man, come on, likewise, man. We can do this shit all day, man.
Yeah, love,
I got my Jewish partner in. We kicking shit, you know what I'm saying?
Jewish partner.
Man,
So,
we
man,
gonna
say
stack
it.
this paper, baby.
Young Jeezy going to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
He said that. He referenced.
I mean, shit, they probably got some shit going on out there, too.
You know what?
Right.
They do on the regular.
On the regular.